Got a penalty flag down.
Skip pass sets up the board, and it's time to pluck a chicken.
Walden.
Score another one here. Right on cue, he goes upstairs.
Levine with some speed. Levine fakes a pass. Levine all the way is going to fire and score.
Up top, Bruin. He wants a shot,
and he's got it! Wow!
But a good one-handed scoop up.
Oh, Roy, and then he lights the lamp. Lowers that left shoulder and fires up the Cougar fans. Look at this!
Nice play.
Fake shot by Brunzik, and then he drills it on his way to the ground.
Chase. Extra feed.
Shot, score, game over. Bouvier upstairs. He atones.
Redemption.
35 seconds. Collins is open. The bouncing shot is going to win the game for Portsmouth.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome here to Exeter. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough with you, getting set for our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. It's the Bedford Bulldogs and the Exeter Bluehawks here on the Seacoast. Two teams tied atop the Division I standings with identical 5-1 records. Bedford, well, in the midst of a three-game road trip. They beat Wyndham their last time out 16-1, cruising their way to their fifth victory overall. The only loss for the Bulldogs came out of state against a very good Hingham program in Massachusetts. That was a one-goal game, 10-9. And Exeter, same deal. Only one loss, 5-1 on the year. A 9-8 defeat at Bishop Feehan is the only blemish on the record. They cruised their last time out. That was a road win as well at Nashua North, 20-1. So here we go, Rich. It's only week 3, but already a big battle here in Division I with the winner in sole possession of first place.
Absolutely. It is a huge battle, especially, we got some injuries, which we'll discuss in a few minutes, but who are these teams? What is their identity this year? You got big shoes to fill with Lasowitz having graduated for Exeter. Brody Helton is hurt. The Rutgers commit. And who are stepping into these guys' shoes, and who are these teams? They've had blowout wins, and they had one-goal losses apiece to very, very talented Massachusetts programs. So this is going to be a huge proving ground today, Nick.
Yeah. Both teams are loaded with talent, as you alluded to. Bedford is shorthanded to begin the season without the aforementioned Brody Helton. The Rutgers commit injured last fall during football season. It's a big part of Bedford's championship run on the gridiron. Of course, all eyes will be on one of the best players, not just in the state, but in the country. That's the senior Bennett Matthews, who is, by all accounts, one of the most talented players, at least in the region. He's got a full boat to Duke next year and is perhaps the player to watch on the field tonight.
Without a doubt. I have seen one article saying that he was the number 3 recruit in the country. There are all kinds of different articles about that, but the talent is undeniable. Obviously, coach's son in football, incredible athlete, but boy, I tell you, watching him when he gets the ball at X, and he's going to play some attack, of course, and he's midi, attack, he's a multi-dimensional athlete, but his first couple of steps, it's the reason why he's going to Duke, which values team speed under Coach Danowski.
And of course, both of these head coaches familiar with one another. Both are veterans. Matt Brewster, I believe now in year number 6 with Exeter, 5 or 6, and in year number 2 on the Bedford sideline is former Pinkerton head coach Steve Gaudreau. So the players, the coaches, everybody familiar with one another. That usually brings out the best.
That's indeed the truth. And then down on the sidelines for Bedford is Dawson Clark, who was an amazing player at Bishop Girton for years, where my son played. And, you got great coaching DNA. The Tomahawks are involved, and, I coached in the Tomahawks for years. And these guys know each other. They're both well coached. And Exeter's always physical. Bedford's always physical. Nick, that's why we're going to get a treat today.
A little bit of a chill in the air right now, about 50 degrees here. Cloudy skies, should stay that way throughout the game. 30 seconds or less, Rich. What do we look for?
Well, I think the face-off dot is huge today. Riccio is playing really well. He's winning 85% of his face-offs. So that is where Bedford can really make some hay at the face-off dot. And then you got a good goaltending battle. I mean, both players are terrific. We'll see how Ethan Kahn is off the charts right now. He had 20 saves versus Hingham, and Bedford came back to make that interesting. But we'll see who gets the call, whether it's going to be Burnich or Ronan Wilbur. Either goalie for Exeter. Maybe they'll split time. They're fantastic.
All right, when we come back, starting lineups, national anthem, game time at the bottom of the hour. A battle for first place in Division I between Bedford and Exeter. Coming up next, you are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The Tomahawks prepare players to compete at the highest level, providing access to the best regional and national tournaments for maximum exposure. More than 1,000 alumni have gone on to compete at the collegiate level, including the ACC, Big Ten, Big East, Ivy, Patriot, NESCAC, NE10, and more. At the New Hampshire Tomahawks, players train with the same coaches and teammates, building elite skill, chemistry, leadership, and confidence. Every session combines high-level, position-specific instruction for all positions. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Well, back here at Bill Ball Stadium, Eustis Field, getting set for our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough with you. Exeter and Bedford here in week number 3. Both teams are 5-1, and both teams are right now part of a 3-way tie at the top of the Division I standings. Pinkerton is also 5-1. Of course, defending champion Bishop Girton right in the mix as well at 5-2. The officials, Peter Burkhart, Jonathan Acox, two of the state's best. Growing crowd here. As we mentioned, a little chilly, but not too bad here. Temperature just under 50 degrees as we begin things. Starters going to midfield, Bedford in black, Exeter in white. And, Rich, we had this one circled really when the schedule came out, as you can every year. Two of the better programs, rather, not just in the division but in the state.
Always in the semis, frequently in the title game. And again, the kids know each other. They played youth ball together. Up until last year, I'd coached kids on both teams, and they've all graduated. But it's absolutely circled on the calendar when I saw it in March. I also thought it would be springtime by the time we got to this game.
Yeah, been kind of overcast and rainy lately. But again, it's dry right now on the turf field as we get set for this one.
And this face-off battle between Riccio and Yang is going to be interesting. And obviously possession is the critical part of the game.
Riccio is squeezed out as this one continues to be elusive for both teams. In the mix. And finally picked up here by the goaltender. It bounces to Kahn. That's Ethan, the senior. He's going to fan it out to his left. Bedford looks to clear here on the ride after both teams settle down at midfield. Here's a good swim move to get across the 50. And now Bedford does get the clear. Durso going to get it behind the cage. Cole Rubin, one of the junior attack, and now cycled back out here on Bedford's first trip.
And watch Durso. He's got 21 goals this season. Number 6, you said him. He really can play ball.
Shot here, high over the cage. You mentioned during the pregame, Exeter really with two trustworthy goaltenders. Ronan Wilbur, the senior, does get the start, or he was announced as the starter anyway. It's actually James Burnich in goal, and he gets beat here as Bedford's going to score first from the wing. Just over a minute gone by. It's 1-0 Bulldogs.
Yeah, Burnich just missed that one. It went low. He couldn't catch up with it. You may remember his brother, Ethan, outstanding goaltender, All-State, went to RIT. But he'll figure it out. They're good athletes, and he knows the game. So
Dax Becker, one of the freshmen who has stepped up early for Coach Gaudreau, steps up early in this one, putting the Bulldogs on the board first, and Bedford's going to ride the momentum with a face-off win as Durso gets to the ground ball on the wing. Bulldogs have it. Looking to double up here early on the road.
That's Becker's 8th of the season. They got 2 freshman players, each of whom came into this game with 7 goals apiece. The other one, Drew Pascalis. That's really special when you got a couple of freshmen scoring at that level.
Durso comes off the screen, draws a slide, flings it behind the cage. Patient trip for Bedford. Spin move, jump shot for Matthews, a little off target. Tough angle shot ends up out of bounds, and Bedford will restart from the near corner. This is Rubin looking to get the step. Becker double teamed and forced out deep on the wing. Getting hacked at from behind.
That's terrific bracketing defense, and they didn't give up on it and stripped it out, and you got a first flag.
Yeah, right in front of the official, and we're going to play on here.
My guess is a push.
Likely against Bedford. It's Exeter going to work out of their own end here with 2 minutes gone. It's 1-0 Bedford. Sprinting to midfield. Showing a little bit of speed there is the sophomore short stick midi Nico Thomas. Part of this good sophomore class for Coach Brewster.
Yeah, I was watching Thomas play short stick D the other day. Really, really good athlete. He's got to keep his center of gravity on D, though.
Here's Sam Gidney. Gets the step. Shot there. Little left of the cage and out of play. Exeter will keep it here, trailing 1-0.
And Gibney's got a real good first step, just like Matthews does. And he'll invert, which means he'll take it from topside down below goal line extended.
All right, sorry, Rich. We finally get the flag here.
Oh, he got hit in the head, so that'll be a minute. I wonder if it'll be releasable or not.
It's against Bedford. It's against the freshman, and it's against the goal scorer from a moment ago, Dax Becker. Down on his left knee in the penalty box. So an early EMO for Exeter. 1 minute on the board here. Golden opportunity to tie for the Blue Hawks. Behind the net.
Yeah, they love going to this left wing.
There's the shot, and an easy save there as Kahn able to read that one. Gibney pulled the trigger, but Kahn able to make the save near the shoulders. First stop for the senior. Good Exeter ride here. The long pole for Bedford, Will Frongillo, is going to try to find Matthews, but can't hook up. That one sails out of bounds on the far sideline. So there's the ride for Exeter paying off.
Yeah, the pressure up front when you're up a man, you can take that chance, and that creates a long pass, which frequently leads to mistakes. Here comes that wing.
Still 20 seconds on the MO. Kahn knocks it down and then scoops it up off the bounce. A couple of shots by Exeter, but Bedford in a good position here to kill off the remainder of the penalty.
It's interesting. Both shots already were off-stick high.
Meanwhile, Durso, surrounded by 3 Exeter defenders, spins away and gets a timeout from over his shoulder as Coach Gaudreau has his back. Bedford kills off the EMO. We get a break in the action. Nearly 4 minutes gone by in this first quarter. It's 1-0 Bedford. Our broadcast tonight, it's brought to you by the New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Find out more at nhtomahawks.com and also girls.nhtomahawks.com. By MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. By Jewett Construction. Come join us to build something great. Planning, architecture, construction management, and of course proud sponsors of their trades scholarship program as well. Apply now at jewettconstruction.com. And finally by, of course, Beals Insurance. Locations in Bedford, Londonderry, and Epping. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Week number 3 here. And already a big game in Division I with these two teams tied at the top of the standings.
Well, as you said and discussed with the folks, winner has sole possession of first for the moment. We'll see how Pinkerton holds up. BG, they played 2 of the best out-of-state teams, and those are their 2 losses. But, they're always going to be in the hunt, and they're ranked number 1.
Bishop Girton has not lost to an in-state opponent, of course, since 2019, so still the standard. Bedford going to get them next week. We'll be there, by the way, in Nashua for that battle between the Bulldogs and the Cardinals. This one is knocked down.
That was a beautiful knockdown.
Burnich in the cage has it for Exeter. Some good things defensively here from the Blue Hawks in the opening minutes.
Yeah, good pressure. I mean, they're about, historically, they're about ball pressure, but here we go on the transition.
Thomas doing a good job on the clear, gets it over to Matthew Wilhelm, his fellow sophomore. Exeter set for an offensive trip here, trying to tie the game. Did manage a couple of shots a moment ago on the EMO, but Ethan Kahn able to stand tall.
Hey, 20 saves versus Hingham. If you're making 20 saves against those guys, you're doing something right.
Meanwhile, Graves near side, back up top for Sean Haw. Haw wants a one-on-one with Durso. Durso trying to bump him off balance. He gets inside the defender, makes a second man miss, his triple team. Flings it back out for Declan Sankowicz, one of the freshmen for Coach Brewster.
It was just outstanding pressure D.
Sankowicz off the back foot. Cycle it now to the far side. Extended possession here for the home team. Wilhelm's shot goes off, I believe, the post. I think it's poked back behind the net where Graves is waiting. Graves is unguarded. Graves finds a man on the wing. It's a shot and a score for Griffin Gennard. The junior able to get the angle this time as Exeter kept knocking on the door. They kick it down to tie the game at 1.
Well, and they just set that up from afar. They went one side, went the other, drew everybody into one slot, and that left that nice open. And my scout on him, having watched the Chelmsford game, was he has a good righty and goes low. There we go.
Yep, saw it there. The junior able to light the lamp and tie this game at 1 apiece. We approach the midway point here. First period, and Exeter going to win the face-off, but outlet pass knocked down. The player is knocked down, and we get a whistle. Good effort by the long pole Cameron Knowles. Again, part of that class of 2028 that has stepped up early for Exeter. Makes a difference there. And now the Blue Hawks look for their first lead here as we approach the midway point first quarter. And come back out to the top for Hahn, one of the senior leaders.
Nice dodge.
Shot and score. Goes top shelf to beat Kahn, and Exeter has their first lead of the game.
Goal number 2, Sean Ha.
Sean Ha. Terrific individual move there. And a lightning release there.
Yeah, nice, just a speed dodge right there. And once he's by the hips, that opened up a yard of space for him to shoot. And when he got those hands high and free, came down, changed planes, lights out. Even a good goalie like Kahn's not going to grab that.
A little over 30 seconds between goals there for the home team as Exeter has a 2-1 lead. This one's going to take a roll towards the far wing. Bedford is there as Kobe Rubin is in trouble. Ball flies out of bounds. It'll stay with the Bullhawks. It's the official Peter Burkhart with an emphatic signal there. It's going to stay with Bedford.
You say he's a basketball ref as well?
He sure is.
Oh, my goodness.
Former player as well.
He's probably the most in-shape guy on the field.
Could be. Meanwhile, Bedford trying to tie the game as we move inside of 6 minutes here to go in this opening quarter. It's the freshman, Dakar, trying to shake off his man. Now goes to the senior, Matthews. Matthews turns on the gas, fires, and scores. A bullet from Bennett Matthews. 2-2 as the Duke commit evens things here in Exeter.
That release, Nick, right on his hip and the pull, and that is All-America D1 ACC quality right here. Got the sweep, down the alley we go, guys run into each other, lights out.
Of course, he was the quarterback this past fall for Bedford's state championship football team, and he's got a big future down at Duke. He heads down to Carolina in the fall. This is a clean face-off win for Bedford's Dylan Riccio, the junior headed to UMass Lowell. And now back for Matthews as Bedford looks to retake the advantage. We move towards 5 minutes to go first quarter. Long pass to Carr. Tough catch there under pressure. Going to backpedal towards midfield and reset.
Well, Riccio came in winning 85% of his draws. He's got 4 or 5 so far.
Quick pass. Not going to get home. Instead, it ends up out of play.
Yeah, that's a tough turnover, but one of my notes was ball security for both teams, and just got to take care of those opportunities when you get a good face-off win and settled offense staring at you.
Now Exeter on the clear. Good move. Long pole Jackson Laranger, one of the veterans.
Yeah,
Laranger showing off the footwork there with a nice spin move.
Yeah, I was watching his play against Chelmsford, athletic movement.
Got a timeout here. Coach Brewster going to spend his first. With inside of 5 minutes to play, opening period. 2-2 here if you're just joining us. Bedford struck first just over a minute in. Dax Beckar. Is it Becker? Beckar?
You got me. I
B-E-K-A-R.
I usually know all my lacrosse players, but I got this one's new to me.
Freshman looking good early, 1-0 Bulldogs, and then Exeter back-to-back goals just about 30 seconds apart midway through the quarter. Griffin Gennard, Sam Haw in that order, and then a moment ago Bennett Matthews tying the game at 2. Both teams looking for their 6th win of the season here in week number 3.
Yeah, and I feel like it's going to be this way all day today, Nick. We're seeing talent, but the thing to keep watching, and you and I got to chat about this pre-game, the key was good goaltending and the face-off, and with Riccio doing so well so far this year. If he keeps winning at this pace, it's going to be tough on Exeter. They've got to get a couple, maybe get a pull from the wing to get a 50-50 ball, and then get some settled offense.
4 out of 5 have gone to Bedford here early. Exeter, though, back on the attack, looking to retake the lead in front of what is still a growing crowd here on the Seacoast. Good numbers here despite the cold weather.
Still with the Parkas.
All right, what are we looking at here formation-wise, Rich, as we begin this?
It's just an open set right now to get going. They're wide open. I'm not even going to describe it as anything. It's a 1-2-3, but it's just open. It's a circle. And what they'll do is they'll spin it around the perimeter, get into some rhythm, and then get their flow going.
And Bedford's going to allow that to happen here for the moment, not going to press out.
Well, and they're in a zone right now. A 3-3.
Yep. Sankovic is the freshman at the top here. He's trying to find a place to go with it. Finds his teammate Luke Caron to the right. Now it's behind the net once again for Graves.
And you see in that 3-3, they pass off that crease man, and somebody else hunts him down from behind.
Exeter showing patience. Off the corner. Shot as the defender goes down. Ends up wide, not a play.
Yeah, he just ducked down on that one, and I'm okay with that. As a goalie myself, Nick, just let me see the ball, right?
It was Dylan Gorski on the trigger pull for Exeter, and now another opportunity on the way for the Blue Hawks.
My question here is, are they going to overload? Here comes a little drag and an overload.
Wilhelm back up top for Gibney. Again behind the cage. 3.5 to play first quarter.
It invites a big outside shooting team, so we'll see what happens.
Gibson, Alex Kerrigan. Now Graves again. Kerrigan off the low catch, goes low to high wide. Tough angle shot, sails out of bounds. It'll stay at this end.
That was a good job by Gaudreau on the left side of that zone. Coach's son, we expect that, right, Nick?
Right. High IQ players typically, right?
Except for my kids. No, they're fantastic.
Meanwhile, Exeter's been patient here.
Yeah, which is what this 3-3, Bill Tierney from Princeton, one of the best ever to teach it, and then Denver, obviously, national title as well.
Sankovic going to find his man on a skip pass this time. Gorski, now Graves. Wilhelm spins. Wilhelm closed out on by the long pole Gaudreau. Back up top and now back to the left. 2.5 to go.
And this is taking away that good alley dodge.
There's
there you
a
go.
knockdown in the passing lane. Cam Santos, and then he took one to the helmet there off the stick of Sam Gidney. Those two exchanging words. The flag is out. The ball is now loose. Exeter gets to it, and here comes the penalty.
Well, he went behind the back with that flip, and that invites sometimes a swing and a miss. And the miss ended up in the helmet.
Yeah. Santos did not seem to appreciate it either. As we get a look at the ground ball that ended the play, but penalty came off screen there as Gibney's going to pick up Exeter's first penalty, one each so far. We saw Bedford kill off at EMO in the first quarter. Exeter looking to do the same defensively here. Bulldogs want the lead as we close in on 2 minutes to go in what's been a fun first quarter.
And the personal foul gets you 1 minute, just like the previous penalty as well. Fake
Matthews.
Fake hidden ball trick. There it is.
Finds the cutter, and there's the score off the bouncer. Durso. Beautifully done by Bedford as they capitalize on the EMO. It's 3-2 Bulldogs.
That was that is a Duke specialty right there, and he's going to be a Blue Devil. Look at the hidden ball trick right here. Flip back to himself, and it freezes them for a minute inside. Durso wide open, great feed.
Is that something out of Coach Danowski's bag of tricks there?
He's got a billion bags of tricks. I expect that from Long Island guys, just like our buddy Chris Cameron. But that's talent on display there, Nick.
Coach Gaudreau is liking what he's seen at the face-off X as it's another win for Riccio. Bedford a chance to build some momentum here with a 3-2 lead as we close in on the final 100 seconds of this first quarter. Matthews has it, has Durso. Durso flips it over the top, step down shot, swallowed up. Knocked down by the defense. Ground ball goes to the Bulldogs. Matthews has it again. Splits defenders and launches. Burnich ready that time with a chest-high save. The senior headed to Maine Maritime. Read that one well. Keeps it a 1-goal difference. Blue Hawks on the bounce pass trying to find Gibney. Won't do it. Picked up by Santos. Bedford has it.
Nice bounce pass, poise. I like it a lot.
Seen the ball on the turf deliberately a lot in this first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, use it. It's AstroTurf. Go for it.
Durso trying to shake and bake. That one whizzes past Burnich out of play as we enter the final minute here of the opening frame.
Look at that hitch. Beautiful step out.
Meanwhile, Matthews one-on-one against Laranger. Goes over the zone. Durso, another bouncing attempt. Rockets high and out of play.
That near side was gaping, and he just pulled it. That's all. It happens.
Bedford looking for a fourth goal here.
I love when they dodge from X, the Bulldogs this year.
It's the freshman Bakar. Wraparound shot. Burnich able to snub it out.
Just didn't get high enough in the formation there.
Final 25 seconds. Got a full sprint here to midfield. That's Thomas. Speedy sophomore is knocked down out of bounds.
He got him in possession. He had pushed him right in the back.
And the flag does come out. Yep. Second penalty here against Bedford. No argument from the senior Bennett Matthews.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't fake that one. So that's, it's interesting. They got 16 seconds, and if they close it out, man up with the ball, there's no face-off.
That's a 2-minute penalty.
He must have called him with a personal foul cross-check. Interesting.
Golden opportunity for Exeter. And they may or may not, looks like they will, just run out the final seconds of this first quarter. So Bedford on the road with a 3-2 lead, but Exeter on the heels of an EMO to start the second quarter, looking to tie the game when we come back. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week. It's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
We begin the second quarter. Exeter trailing Bedford 3-2, closing seconds of the Blue Hawk EMO. Before we went to break, a little bit of confusion between the folks on the field and the folks up here in the press box as we get a stop here from Ethan Kahn. Thought it was a 2-minute penalty against Bedford, only a 30-second push. Bulldogs able to kill off the penalty and maintain a 3-2 lead.
Yeah, I've got a card-carrying ref here. And I was going, how could that be 2 minutes? It was just a push. And the only way it could have been was a cross-check, with intent.
This one knocked out of bounds by Exeter. Bulldogs will restart in their own end. Nick Anastas along with Rich McDonough. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. A battle for first place in Division I between Bedford and Exeter. Both teams 5-1. Both programs expected to be in the hunt for the Division I championship this season.
No doubt, and our goaltending battle has shaped up at 3-2 in favor of Kahn. But down the stretch, Burnich got himself a couple of good saves. That helps get you screwed on, Nick?
Meanwhile, Durso picks up the ground ball off the errant pass, and Bedford cycles it back to Matthews. Matthews, backdoor, Durso, denied. Burnich makes the save from one knee there. Ground ball goes back to Durso. And here he is, goal line extended, looking to restart Comes off the screen, comes middle, spins, and is knocked down. Hit hard, ball loose in front of the crease, and Exeter gets to it as Laranger is there for the Blue Hawks.
And that was a good clean hit.
Meanwhile, Burnich seems like he's been getting better as the game has gone on here. Another save, his third, unofficially, of course.
Yeah, once you get that first save as a goalie myself, Nick, it just focuses you. You get hit, and you feel like you're in the game. It's just.
Meanwhile, it's taken a physical turn here in this first half. We saw the Matthews penalty. We see the big hit there that put Durso on the ground. As we said at the top of the broadcast, these players familiar with each other and certainly competitive tonight.
And they're going to lay the lumber. It was just a matter of time. They're all physical players. A lot of them play football as well. So,
nearly 3 minutes in, second quarter. 3-2 Bedford. Bulldogs with goals from Becker, Matthews, and Durso. Gennard and Ha scored for Exeter. Spin move here. Wilhelm, though, runs out of room, lost the ball. It's up for grabs, and Kahn is going to step on the fire there and put it out as he gets the ground ball controlled in the crease.
Yeah, just overcooked the grits right there. You're backing into 2 or 3 players. It's just a bad recipe. Down to the dirt we went.
Meanwhile, Kahn out of the cage, helping out on the clear. This Exeter ride has been formidable. Bedford taking most of the clock there to get it over. They do in the end, and now the attack is going to watch a turnover.
Boy.
Over the head of the intended target there in the corner and given back to the Blue Hawks.
25-plus seasons coaching, Nick, and that's why my hair is gray, not because of genetics.
Well,
because of turnovers.
You give Exeter a little credit there. I mean,
yeah,
that ride nearly produced the 20-second violation, and that constant pressure can lead to mistakes.
Exactly. You hurry rather than go quickly.
Meanwhile, already nearly 4 minutes gone by in this fast-moving second quarter. 2 talented teams, 2 of the better programs statewide. They'll meet again in the final week of the season. The rematch will take place in Bedford.
Circle that one too, Nick.
Meanwhile, behind the cage now, taking a jog, is Exeter senior Sean Ha.
And he's great at dodging from X too, as well.
Yep.
Too easy.
Tried the wraparound. Kahn saw it coming.
And it was high to high, no change. But at that point in your sequence, in your dodge, you're backing away. It's really hard to change planes.
Kind of have to commit at that point, right?
Keep coming. I'd say keep climbing the pocket or the slot. Get yourself some extra room. If you can't, then just bang it up top and hit the reset switch.
Bedford back on offense for the first time in a while. Matthews going to slow it down. Coach Gaudreau over his shoulder calling out the instructions. Durso joins Matthews. Matthews backdoor pass on time and on target, but there's Burnich able to stop the bouncing attempt from Becker.
I'm just surprised just how open the Bulldogs are finding themselves in the interior just above the island, which is the area right outside the goal. It's really amazing, but there's Burnich on fire.
You've seen that kind of backdoor feed from Bedford throughout this first half.
Yeah, they're just getting the buckets on top of the Blue Hawks uniforms. They're looking the other way, and once they do, they creep backside.
3-2. Bedford with the lead. Exeter hoping to tie. Neither team has scored so far in this second quarter as we head near or towards the midway point. Wilhelm getting physical, but he's jammed up from behind, and that shot ends up off target.
He was looking to shoot, and when you are like that, you're hanging your stick, and it's easy to take that away from behind. Nice trail check.
Good defensive effort by Liam Shannon, the junior midi for Bedford. Shannon, part of that midfield unit, but has had to step up in the absence of Brody Helton, who's yet to play a game for Bedford.
Nice check by Abendroth right there.
Bulldogs hoping to get the senior star back for the playoff run. Meanwhile, Kahn playing catch, going to come out of the crease here, looking to direct traffic as Bedford hopes to clear against what's been a good Exeter ride. What's been the key to this ride here?
Just kind of a tiger, alpha type of pressure up front that's forcing the pass to the sides, and then you're jamming up the middle, and it creates longer passes and certainly chews up clock, Nick.
That's Tommy Graves, the junior, at the head of that ride, who has worked hard here in this first half. Meanwhile, we have a timeout by Bedford. Coach Gaudreau's not happy.
Concession stand is open.
with his unit here, even though his team is out in front here 3-2, just inside of 6 minutes to go until halftime.
Yeah, I think, you look at that last opportunity with the feed inside. Yeah, Burnich saved it, but he didn't really change planes on the goalie. You're going to have to change planes on Burnich. He's talented, and he comes from good goalie stock.
Right.
And I think Coach, he's seeing how much room they're picking. They're picking the lock inside. You got to convert these looks, and my guess is that's one of the things they're discussing, in addition to having a little bit more poise on that ride.
Of course, Burnich, the younger brother of Ethan Burnich, who was a multi-year starter for Exeter for years here, not too long ago.
Right, and went to RIT, which is had won 2 or 3 championships at the D3 level.
Right.
And my son went there. My other son went there.
My cousin went there.
There we go.
So there you go.
Lots of good things happen in Rochester lacrosse, for sure.
Exeter and Bedford both 5-1. Pinkerton, the other team in that three-way tie atop the Division I standings. Of course, we'll see the Astros later this season. We'll see Bedford take on Bishop Girton next week.
Can't wait for that.
In our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire game of the week.
At Stellos, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Well, we're going to be up in the microwave.
A little bit of a breeze here. A little chilly as well. Sun yet to come out. It's been cloudy all day. Not ideal lacrosse weather, but these players have warmed up throughout the first half down on the field. Bedford's Dax Becker, who has the ball, got it started. Bulldogs scored just over a minute into the game, led 1-0. Exeter back-to-back goals gave them their first and only lead. Griffin Gennard and Sam Howe just 30 seconds apart. And then late in the first quarter, Bennett Matthews tied the game. Bryson Durso gave Bedford the lead. We have been scoreless here in this second quarter as both goaltenders have come to the forefront, both seniors, Exeter's James Burnich and Bedford's Ethan Kahn. Meanwhile, a pair of turnovers. Now it's Matthews dancing, getting a little bit of room here. Laranger done a pretty good job with him throughout this first half, forces him to give it up here.
Yeah, we're seeing some really good checking right now. A combination of really good checking and athleticism, but also some kind of sloppy stick handling.
Shake and bake. Durso, downhill, shot and score.
That was filthy, Nick.
Excellent footwork on display there by the junior midi Bryson Durso. It's his second goal, and Bedford's got a 4-2 lead.
Yeah, look at this move. Look at the jab step. Wow, split, gone, and that's a good defender right there. But I said, Nick, that I was watching Nico Thomas. In spite of his athleticism, he can get over his skis a bit and get off his center of gravity. Once you yield your center of gravity and lunge, toast. And you got to have a slide, but nothing came.
Riccio had the inside track, but he's knocked down. Second effort, though, pays off for the Bulldog Fogo as the junior headed to UMass Lowell. Still has it here. Thought about going to the cage perhaps for a moment, but gets rid of it to Kobe Rubin. So Bedford, as we move towards 4 minutes to go in this second quarter, in a good spot here. They've played with the lead most of the way and have a chance to take their first 3-goal advantage of the contest.
And Riccio is really playing well. I mean, I think it's, I've got unofficially, of course, Nick, 6-2 on the face-off count and 11-6 on the ground ball count for Bedford. Those start telling the tale of the tape. What a dodge. Dax, the freshman, boy, he's impressive, I think.
Yeah, he's had a good first half.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Rubin.
That was a
big
beautiful
hit here on the
setup
wing.
on D, Nick.
Bakar was crunched. Laranger in the mix, and Laranger lets his goaltender take over. Burnich. Another good stop by the Exeter defense.
Well, there was Bakar maybe showing a little bit of freshman lack of experience there. He's trailed by 2 players, and he rolls back into them. Just bounce it outside and, wheel the ball around a bit. Better we have it than they have it. It's my old expression, Nick.
Meanwhile, Sam Gibney finally secures for Exeter, and Coach Brewster is going to cement the possession by calling a timeout here with 3:20 to play until halftime. Coming up at halftime, stats, highlights, analysis, full recap, out-of-town scoreboard, all on the way at the break. Bedford a 4-2 lead here. Rich, what has gone well for the Bulldogs, particularly in this first half.
Excellent dodging, and, for all we talk about Bennett Matthews headed for Duke, I mean, how excellent is Bryson Durso? Yeah, he was on the watch list for All-State coming in. And I didn't know a whole lot about his game, Nick, but, boy, we got a good athlete on your hands wearing number 6 for Bedford. That's gone well. The face-offs have gone well,
Uncommitted at this point, right? Still only a junior.
As far as I know, yeah.
Still only a junior, but very likely set to continue his career at the next level. And then Exeter, they've had some moments, particularly with that ride here in the first half, but the attack has been quiet outside of those back-to-back goals about midway through the first quarter.
Yeah, it's been an interesting lack of settled offense. I think we've seen a lot of pressure in between the 20s, if you will, for lack of a better term, or the 30s. And that kind of gobbles up a lot of time, and you don't get into settled possession. And we've seen a couple of air balls, go over the end line and the sidelines. So interesting that they might be feeling each other out at this stage of the game, but that's part of being big-time program, You go in runs, and we're sending a little mini run for the Bulldogs right now. But that was a terrific timeout. I really think that was excellent by Coach Brewster.
All right, home team hoping to cut the Bedford lead in half coming out of the timeout here with 3:20 to go in this second quarter. By the way, if you have not done so already, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, of course, on YouTube at FNLNH Media. Backdoor, and just as Coach Brewster drew it up, they cash in. As Sean Howe scoring his second goal of this first half to make it 4-3.
Yeah, that was scripted right in the huddle. Again, there's a great use of that timeout. You got the ball. You want to stop the run. Look at the pick, the fake pick, and then the go. And he slips away from it. Well done when the defender was looking at the dodger.
First goal for Exeter in nearly 14 minutes of game time. And it comes at the right time there as Bedford was playing with momentum. Exeter right back within one.
Well-timed timeouts are critical for coaching.
Meanwhile, another face-off win for the Bulldog junior, Dylan Riccio, who, as you mentioned, has given the Bulldogs a big lift in this first half, winning 7 of the 9 face-offs now.
Yeah, number 5 can really play. 85% coming in. He's best at that today.
This one is dropped. Rubin is in trouble. Hacked at by the long pole defender Logan Schwalje.
Schwalje. Yeah, I met his folks last year. He's going to Clarkson, and this guy can strip check with the best of them right there, and we saw that on display.
Nice job by Schwalje, but a turnover along the sideline is going to give this right back to Bedford.
Just like I called it a minute ago, right?
Yep.
That's tough to deal with.
Bedford is going to use the bounce pass.
That's poise. I like
to
it.
Obtain the clear. Frangillo, the long pole, looking to get it over to Durso, does so, and Bedford going to pump the brakes here as we approach 2 minutes to play. Bulldogs a chance to extend the lead before the half. Coming downhill. The car's pass is off target.
Boy, and I'm just watching. I've talked to Gaudreau over the years, and his whole body posture just changed.
I thought he had something cooking there. Instead, Exeter.
Yeah, they were trying to get into some rhythm. That's how you get out of rhythm is turnovers, especially unforced ones.
So the Blue Hawks hoping for a second straight to tie the game. Final 100 seconds before halftime. You can hear the Bulldog defenders communicating as Gibney goes behind the net. 2 players behind the cage. Wilhelm wants a pick. Instead goes inside the defender. Slide comes over. Ball is out. Wilhelm trying to find it in the crowd. This one is a hot potato. Still on the turf. About an 8-man scrum here in the high slot, and Wilhelm finally finds it for the home team.
Boy, that was a wicked coma slide right there, coming across the crease right there. And you can get nailed if you are standing straight up, and he was.
Final minute, first half. Bedford trying to protect a 4-3 lead. Howe behind the net, spin move, finds a man across the zone, and it's stomped out by Kahn.
That was a remarkable save right there.
A handful of stops for the Bedford senior. None colder, perhaps, than that one there. Meanwhile, Gibney's bouncer skyrockets over the net. It stays in bounds.
That was a good shot, though.
Graves able to keep it in play for Exeter. Now it goes back up top with 30 seconds to go. Right side, that one by Gennard is wide. Junior tried to bounce it on goal. Still 28 seconds for Exeter.
That was the best flurry of the day for the Exeter boys.
Wilhelm at full speed. Back to the top. 20 seconds. Left side, Howe has been the goal-scoring leader for Exeter. Off the screen, picked up off the switch, trying to get the shot off, up and in, and we are tied.
I am amazed at that one, and he was driving the near post, shot the far, and I've seen Kahn make that save, and he just lost it somehow. But great job escaping that defender closing out and going far pipe.
You could hear the Exeter crowd. They're fired up. A hat trick for Sean Howe, the senior. And that one with just 11 seconds to play before halftime. So back-to-back goals by the senior inside the final 3 minutes and 12 seconds, tying the game here before the break.
Putting the team on his back, and he dodged two defenders. And Coach Gaudreau is probably going to not like seeing that on tape.
And Enriqueo, clean win, comes downhill. Bouncer goes wide right, out of bounds, foot race. Bedford wins it with 4 seconds.
Got to pop it immediately and get a look.
Rubin from deep behind the net comes to his right, finds Matthews, shot there, swallowed up by Burnich, and that will do it for what has been a fun first half here on the Seacoast. Bedford played with the lead most of that two-quarter stretch, but Exeter, with a couple of key goals late, ties the game at halftime. Coming up, full recap, stats, highlights, analysis, out-of-town scoreboard on the way as well. And then, of course, the third quarter is right around the corner, less than 10 minutes from now. Bedford 4, Exeter 4 at halftime. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The Tomahawks prepare players to compete at the highest level, providing access to the best regional and national tournaments for maximum exposure. More than 1,000 alumni have gone on to compete at the collegiate level, including the ACC, Big Ten, Big East, Ivy, Patriot, NESCAC, NE10, and more. At the New Hampshire Tomahawks, players train with the same coaches and teammates, building elite skill, chemistry, leadership, and confidence. Every session combines high-level, position-specific instruction for all positions. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Nice to meet you. Son's been impressive. Back here at halftime, getting set for the third quarter in Exeter. Bedford and Exeter tied at 4. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough. Rich, your thoughts on that first half, and what do we expect in the second?
Well, we got what we expected in a way, Nick, in the first, because we're tied at 4.
Right.
I thought it might be a little bit higher scoring affair, but there have been a lot of drops, the unforced errors. So I think both coaches are going to preach that out of them. I like the momentum that Exeter forged for itself as we exited that first half, and I think it'll continue. If I'm Bedford, I want to hang on to the ball. I want to do some more dodging from X because they're really explosive.
Bedford struck first, just over a minute in. Freshman Dax Becker made it 1-0. Midway through the period, Exeter with goals 33 seconds apart. Griffin Gennard, Sam Howe. 2-1 Bluehawks at that point. Bedford finishes the first quarter strong with 2 more goals. Bennett Matthews and Bryson Durso. 3-2 Bulldogs after 1. And then the first, 7 minutes, 12 seconds of the second quarter goes scoreless until Durso lights the lamp again for 2 Bulldogs at that point. And then the final 3+ minutes look good as Sean Haw scores back-to-back goals, including the game-tying goal with just 11 seconds to play in that first half, giving Exeter a boost going into the locker room. So anybody's guess here, 2 teams at 5-1, part of a 3-way tie atop the Division I standings here in week number 3.
Yeah, and Haw put the team on his back. We got to discuss that as we exited that first half. Three goals up there, and he showed that he's got plenty of moves. But that last play coming out of that TO, that was awesome by Coach Brewster.
By the way, congratulations to Dover, Rich, as they get their 4th win of the season. They beat Timberlane in a D1, D2 cross-divisional matchup. They topped the Owls 10-6. So Dover now 4-2 on the season, right in the mix, looking for a playoff spot in Division I.
Hey, Dover, they people were saying preseason that they were improved and building up again.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Exeter, a rare face-off win. In jeopardy here as Gibney nearly lost the ball at midfield, does recover. Bluehawks now on the attack. Bedford, they won 8 of 10 in that first half on the strength of junior Dylan Riccio.
Yeah, he had some good wins all solo, but the wing play important too, and all those ground balls.
Bluehawks look for the lead. Both these teams in the top 5 in the media poll. That's our friend Joe Marshallana's nh-highschoolsports.com weekly poll that includes several head coaches statewide. Meanwhile, this one is a goal for Exeter. That's a tough shot as Gennard from behind the cage, able to wrap it around, went underhand, I believe, to give Exeter a 5-4 lead.
Well, I was talking with Steve Schwalje at halftime, Logan's dad, and he was saying this kid can elevate, and he certainly did right there. Almost no angle, but he did a little behind the, backside, almost a twister, low toe drag. You throw the kitchen sink in there.
Gennard's second goal. Exeter a 5-4 lead, just over a minute gone by in this third quarter. Bedford right back to it, though, as Riccio wins another face-off. Now the visitors looking to tie. Rubin being shadowed by Swalje. Durso with room on the wing. Looks for a screen from Bakar. Hits the gas, draws a slide, loses his footing in the ball.
Oh, turf monster.
Scooped up on the run by the long pole, Chase Barrett. Part of that talented sophomore squad for Exeter. It's the class of 2028 standout makes a play, and Exeter looking to ride the momentum. They've scored 3 unanswered dating back to the final minutes before halftime.
And we were talking about it right before second half started. That momentum carried over, and I thought it would.
The 3 unanswered is the longest goal streak for either team. This one cycled to the wing and then redirected. Looks like a save there for Kahn, his 6th.
Yeah, I'm giving him a save. Goalie to goalie.
Yeah, I think he got a piece.
No,
Hard to
he got
tell.
a piece. It was a nice job. But it was a really good offensive sequence right there.
Wide open shot. Kahn has looked good. Exeter going to reset as Coach Brewster watches with his hands in his pocket from midfield. Meanwhile, the screen is blown up as Haw ended up on the turf. No whistle.
Yeah, you can't call them all.
It's been a physical game. Two Bedford penalties in that first half, only one against Exeter.
Look at all the room inside.
Shot. Went high, I think.
Yep.
Not sure if it was jammed or not, but
how about the mojo that the Blue Hawks have right now? Things are starting to work.
Seems like that off-ball movement has been getting better.
Without a doubt, and the heads are turning again for Bedford. Now you got to pass them off here.
Gibson off the spin move, and that shot ends up on cage. Stopped by Kahn. That is a save. And Bedford finally has it after an extended Exeter possession.
And the goalies were 5 each at the half in saves.
Well, Durso swimming upstream, spins, splits, and then gets hit. Ball on the ground again. The sidelines are fired up. And then Exeter's long pole comes to the rescue. That's Barrett again.
Durso just tried to do too much on his own right there.
You can hear the home sideline. They're still fired up.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes when you do too much and you get checked like that, you feed the team a check. You also feed them momentum. And you heard that, Nick.
Of course, it helps the Exeter team, the fact that they've got the Exeter baseball team right behind the bench. They were on the diamond down the road earlier today in a game against Timberlane. They've made their way over here to Eustis Field to check out the lacrosse game, and they have been very vocal since their arrival midway through that first half.
And they're blocking the first row view.
Meanwhile, Gennard, his toes in the water, going to pull it back out here. Just over 4 minutes gone by, third quarter. Exeter looking good here, holding a 5-4 lead over Bedford. Backdoor shot, a sweeping score for Wilhelm. Matthew Wilhelm, the sophomore, showing some finesse there near the cage, and Exeter is rolling here, 6-4.
Goal number 15, Matt Wilhelm.
Another tough angle finish there by the youngster. It's now 4 unanswered goals by the Blue Hawks.
It's mind-boggling how open he was allowed to get right there. But, yeah, all eyes were on the dodge and then just camped out just outside the island right there. Can't do anything but bury it from there. Good move.
Meanwhile, another face-off win for Bedford. Riccio is going to take it himself. Shot and score.
Just dynamic out of the as he exited that face-off.
The junior goes down the alley and beats Burnage high to low to make it a one-goal game yet again. Well, it's the Fogo who gives the much-needed answer for Bedford.
Just pure speed going down that left alley.
That's
Nick.
right. He had his eye on the cage and seemingly wanted it the whole way. Tough angle shot, just squeezes inside that far post. So Dylan Riccio pulls the Bulldogs back within 1, 6-5.
Oh.
Well, this one, not sure if that was redirected or...
Yeah, somebody got a piece of it inside.
I think it was a defender, right?
Yeah,
it flies out of bounds. Bedford keeps it.
Yeah, a little knockdown drill right there. We like it.
5 minutes in third quarter. Rubin being hounded here by Swallenjay. Swalje.
Yeah, Swalje is a terrific defender because Rubin is quick. He had 4 goals against Hingham. Tough to do.
The junior held off the scorer's sheet so far by Swalje.
And he's one of those guys who's stepping in and stepping up with Helton still on the injured list.
Here's Matthews, got 2 defenders on him, goes backdoor, and Durso makes him pay. We're tied at 6. Matthews to Durso. There's the hat trick for the junior. And as we approach the midway point of this third quarter, we've got a new game.
I can't believe just how open some of these kids are getting. Watch, everybody's looking the other way, and then he goes backdoor. Bang.
Well, part of that is how much attention Bennett Matthews requires, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's a reason he's going to Duke.
As you see there, he had 2 defenders and then Somebody's open, backdoor, Durso. We've seen Bedford pull that successfully here tonight. And they do it there to tie the game at 6. Meanwhile, another face-off win for Riccio.
12-4 in that department right now. Little scoring barrage that we were missing, as we discussed.
Yeah, we went dry, frankly, for a good stretch of that second quarter. Meanwhile, a flag flies after the whistle. As things getting testy on the far side of the field.
Looks like Knowles is going to get it.
Cameron Knowles, the sophomore.
That's delay a game.
Yeah, he may have poked the ball away from a Bedford player after the whistle. Right in front of the official there on the far side, and that's a no-no. Second penalty for Exeter. Bedford a 30-second EMO to try to take the lead. Inside of 6 minutes now, third quarter. Swalje fell down for a moment, leaves Durso open, and he's going to snipe that one top shelf. Durso putting together a game. Back-to-back goals for the junior, 4 total scores for Durso. 7-6 Bedford as they cash in on the EMO.
Well, he's just feeling it, and look at it. Look at all the time and space. Steps 3 steps down, and with that athleticism and his strength, that's just going back of the twine. All kinds of time and room. Look at that. Midpoint release, upper corner, even stick side. Amazing shot.
You see the emotion after the goal as well as Bedford pulls back in front. Now 3 unanswered by the Bulldogs. That, of course, on the heels of 4 straight from Exeter that bridged the second and third quarters.
Well, so often we talk about it, Nick, you and I. Game of runs.
Yep. We're seeing it on full display here. Meanwhile, Riccio has dominated the face-off X. His teammate, though, is stripped. That's Barrett making a play here, as he has played well since coming out of the halftime tunnel. Meanwhile, this one whistled, and we've got a push.
Yeah, right in front of the ref right there. But, boy, again, different team, different uniform, just too much time dying in your stick with is the ball right there, and you're just inviting the swarm. It's exactly what happened.
You get a look at the home sideline. They've been vocal, liking what they saw there. Meanwhile, Wilhelm got pretty good size, able to use it there to finish off the clear.
Yeah, just shielded himself from the defender from the trail.
5 minutes to go, third quarter. Exeter on the attack. 2-man game near side wing. And we got another flag.
Yeah, I think he got him up in the chops with that.
It was the junior Alex Kerrigan who drew the contact. Meanwhile, little jab step, Wilhelm throws it over to Graves. Graves behind the net. Looking for a cutter instead. Has a bounce pass taken on the wing.
That's about the 4th or 5th bounce pass we've seen today, Nick.
Yeah, a ton. Gibney one-on-one. Trying to brush off the screener. Comes down the lane. Fires a little wide. Kept inbounds on that weak side corner by Wilhelm.
Great keep-in.
Exeter
it just wears a D out, Nick. Sorry, excuse me.
No, you're right, though. Extra effort. It's going to extend the possession yet again for the Blue Hawks. Moving towards the 4-minute mark, third quarter. Again, a penalty coming against Bedford. Pass over the top. Gibney a step down, and Kahn makes the save from his knees. That'll bring the whistle. Another Bulldog penalty is going to put Exeter back on the EMO here shortly.
It's interesting. He got a knee down. I think he was probably expecting a low bounce initially. Kept his stick right where it needed to be, up top shelf.
Kahn has looked good. 8 saves unofficially, including 3 here in this third quarter. We see the penalty a moment ago.
Just 30 seconds. I thought they might be flirting with something in the head there.
Well, this one leads to a Gibney step down. That bouncer is high.
That's a great look, though. It's a really, these in ball sports, hockey, what have you, it's about creating good looks.
Wilhelm up top. Gibney shot again. A bullet. That one wide left. 14 seconds remaining on the EMO.
He's got some sizzle on those shots. Oh, what a takeaway.
Yeah, intercepted. The long pole just took it out of the sky. Excellent effort by the big-bodied defender for Bedford. That's Gaudreau, the coach's son. Gets near midfield, but his teammate is swallowed up. Freshman Drew Pascalis.
Yeah, and it happened again.
Got hit, lost it. Wilhelm the other way for Exeter. Gibney down the alley, shot, and score. Sam Gibney going to tie the game again and bring the crowd to its feet. 7-7 here with just over 3 minutes to go, third quarter.
Well, the third time's the charm for number 11. He'd had 3 good looks on it in the last 35 seconds. The EMO had lapsed, so it's an even strength goal, and that just had some pace. And back to the all-important face-off dot we go, where Riccio has had himself a day.
So Gibney, part of this talented sophomore class, gets his first goal of the evening to tie the game at 7.
And I saw him invert.
Was that officially an EMO goal, or did they kill it?
No. I think it had lapsed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even strength then for Gibney.
Yeah, and somebody may have been getting onto the field, but still, I think the D was just worn out from that long possession. Nick.
Well, you have also said in the past that that's the most dangerous time, right?
It is.
Following the completion of an EMO.
The kids all holler, and I coach my kids out of it, right? Don't holler we're even until we're actually even. Don't say we're all even when he's still just subbing in.
Meanwhile, Rubin. Pass low, taken by Bakar. Now Matthews pulls it out.
This is a big possession for Bedford right now.
Bulldogs want the lead. Matthews drawing attention as he always does. Finds a man left side. Durso, little jab step back up top to the senior. Matthews to his right. Looking for contact here. Draws a slide. Forced to give it up. Flag comes out. Durso scoops up the ground ball as play continues.
So they ought to return fire right here and have a nice long possession and see if they can tire the Blue Hawks out right as we go into what I believe is going to be a minute for a slash.
2 minutes to play, third quarter. Durso wants the one-on-one, comes to his right. Oh, no, now Durso takes it. That was
De Jesus, I think.
Yeah, Jacoby De Jesus, the junior.
Who's got 5 goals on the year so far. Lots of scoring, which is awesome because Brody's still hurt.
Been one of those players that has stepped up in the absence of the Rutgers commit.
Just feel bad for that guy. He's such a terrific athlete and a good kid. Oh.
Expected back, though, before it's all said and done. Bedford hoping to get him for the playoff push. Meanwhile, the play finally ends, and we have the penalty coming here against Exeter.
Boy, Coach Gaudreau is not happy.
It's a slash against Chase Barrett. Barrett, the sophomore, had been putting together a pretty good third quarter.
Having a good
defensively,
game.
Yeah, but the long pole, a little out of control on that one. A 1 minute penalty, as you predicted. It comes with a minute 33 to play in this third quarter. So Bedford on the EMO. Perfect chance for the Bulldogs to retake the lead here on the road.
And McCurtage comes in with, excuse me, allergies. I apologize, guys, with Barrett on the sidelines.
Matthews thought about it. Up top for Durso. Backdoor. Pass off target. Trying to find Rubin. Good hustle, though, by Pascalis, the freshman, to keep it in play.
Indeed.
Skip pass. Off target. Freshman to freshman won't work there. Too low for Bakar and turned over to Exeter.
Boy, that's 3 turnovers by Pascalis in the last 3 possessions. That's very tough to it just disrupts team rhythm.
Still a freshman, though, figuring it out at the varsity level.
Yeah.
Quite an accomplishment to crack the code for this program.
Props.
That young. Bakar, his classmate, he scored the first goal, remember, for Bedford to give the Bulldogs a 1-0 lead. We went back and forth in that first quarter. Bulldogs had a 3-2 advantage about midway through the second. Pushed it to 4-2, and then Exeter back-to-back goals inside the final 3 minutes from Sean Ha. He had a 4-4 game at halftime. Exeter continued the momentum. 2 more in the third quarter from Gennard and Wilhelm. High water mark 6-4, and then Bedford strung together 3 unanswered. Dylan Riccio, 2 more from Durso. The last coming on in EMO, 7-6 Bulldogs, and then Sam Gibney a few minutes back tied the game at 7. Meanwhile, we had what we thought was a push. No flag, though. Bedford trying to turn the tables in transition. Shot stopped by Burnich. Now we do get a whistle.
And that was Fatorik letting it rip. It was just high to high. That was
that's the end of the quarter.
period.
I didn't even realize
Yeah,
that.
I mean, that went fast because there were very few whistles down the stretch.
Right. 7-7. Buckle up as we head to the fourth quarter here. Sole possession of first place is on the line. Bedford and Exeter fight to the conclusion next. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
It's the start of the fourth quarter here in Exeter. Bedford and Exeter tied at 7 in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. This is a big one in D1. Both these teams at 5-1, sharing the honor of best record, at least so far. Pinkerton in that mix as well. The Astros also 5-1. The winner, though, goes to 6-1 and would, at least for the moment, be in sole possession of first place here. Week number 3 statewide. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough with you. Bedford had a significant advantage at the face-off X thanks to Dylan Riccio. He wins another. The junior gets it over to Durso and then flips it back to his right. His teammate not quite ready. Ball ends up on the turf, and we've got a melee. Exeter gets to it. Swalje with the ground ball for the home team, and now the Blue Hawks look to clear. 7-7 our score early fourth quarter. Gibney being shadowed by Santos, forced to give it up after being ridden down the sideline. Tommy Graves takes over. Blue Hawks at one point led 6-4. Bedford in that third quarter strung together 3 more. Exeter just before the end of the quarter gets a goal from Gibney to tie the game. Meanwhile, this kid has been good. Sean Haw, a hat trick for the home team. His bouncing attempt from the wing ends up wide. It'll stay with the home team at this end.
Well, we kind of thought we'd have a prize fight. We're getting it.
Yep. First of 2 regular season meetings. For these two, they'll meet in Bedford in late May, part of the final week of the season.
That was a great trail check right there by Gaudreau.
Transition for Bedford, but the plot foiled, knocked away by Laranger, able to get in the passing lane there, gets his stick on the ball to break up what could have been a goal there for Bedford.
Hey, got to do those knockdown drills.
Meanwhile, Laranger has been pretty good. He's had the unenviable assignment of trying to stifle Bennett Matthews. He's held Matthews to just 1 goal here so far, although probably got a couple of apples as well unofficially.
He has a few to his mate there, number 6, who Durso, is having himself a day.
Nonetheless, though, if you're Coach Brewster, you're pretty pleased with the Rangers' defensive effort on Matthews.
All of them. They're doing a good job.
2 minutes in, fourth quarter. Here he comes.
It's a good take.
That's the freshman Bakar, and his bouncer is off target.
But again, nice sweep. Got himself some space. Pretty darn good for a freshman. There's
Swalje comes down with the hammer and pokes it away from Rubin. Ball loose. Rubin is knocked down. Swalje gets to it, and we have a push.
Boy, Swalje really, he is diabolical with that twig. He's a takeaway monster, cause turnover machine.
He's got 5 or 6 inches on the player he's trying to shut down as well. That's Kobe Rubin.
Doesn't hurt. Oh, boy.
This one out in front, fanned on.
Was just looking at the twine before he got the ball clear.
That was the freshman Pascalis. Instead, it's Exeter the other way. Still tied at 7. Blue Hawks now look for the lead. 2.5 gone by, fourth quarter.
Got to look it into your pocket, have scientific knowledge that you have it, and then go.
Meanwhile, still the zone here for Bedford. That's been the look most of the way tonight for Coach Gaudreau.
Yeah, they're pinched. They've been playing enough man. They're just giving him a little bit of a look, and then to his credit, Brewster recognized that, and I think he just felt like it was a frenetic pace. Here we go, good dodge.
And man here, and Gibney gets inside of his. Able to get the step on Cam Santos, and then goes up top for his second goal. 8-7 Exeter with 3 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter.
If they were switching, now they're still in the 3-3 right there, but they just got tucked in way too deep. You had a wide open set right there, and you can dodge across. Yeah, you can dodge a zone. Contrary to popular belief, you can dodge a zone. The Princeton guys were among the best in the business, Jesse Hubbard, years ago.
Blue Hawks with the lead. Bedford with the face-off win as Riccio stays hot. Now it's Matthews. Shake and bake, spin. He's got 3 defenders in the area. No open teammates. The senior pulls it out instead.
Well, he's got a shorty. It's time to assert himself, but he's going to get help.
Going to lower the shoulder. Yep, 2 slides come over. Skip pass sets up Durso, and that one sails out of bounds.
Yeah, they set that one up. He saw he had the shorty, and they didn't waste any time. They got him some help courtesy of Knowles.
And again, the Blue Hawks have done a good job with that second defender on Matthews. Skips it over the zone. Bakar on the weak side. Shot. Saved by Burnich. First save since halftime by our count, at least, for the senior goaltender. Burnich now with half a dozen in the game.
That was point blank.
Bedford the restart. Bulldogs trail 8-7. 4 minutes gone by, fourth quarter. Another slide.
Beautiful slide by Barrett.
De Jesus changes direction. And now one-on-one on the far wing, the freshman, Bakar.
What I love there, Nick, he went right to the gloves and the butt end.
Gets inside of the defender, Cam Scarrett. Bouncing shot swallowed up overhead by Burnich. Goaltender stays hot, gets a quick outlet. Now trouble on the sideline as Chase Barrett runs out of room. Barrett is knocked down and slow to get up.
Wow.
Big collision right in front of our sideline cameraman, Matt Beals. And not a good sign here as Barrett is still down.
That's tough, man. He's played a very, very good game.
He has.
Looks like he's grabbing his lower leg.
Sophomore defender trying to get up. His classmate Cullen Scarrett is there.
It looks like he's trying to work out a cramp or something like that.
Now they're going to bring over the cart. All this comes with just over 4 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Nick Anastas along with Rich McDonough in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by not Beals Insurance, the New Hampshire Tomahawks. I'm still getting used to that.
That's all right.
Of course, the Tomahawks are new presenting sponsor. Glad to have them back on board. This one has been fun. It's been tight. It's been physical. It's been Well, interesting to call. We've seen really both coaches kind of dial up some stuff, a lot of back doors, good off-ball motion, good goaltending. I mean, what is there not to like with what we've seen so far?
Fantastic display by Riccio at the face-off dot. And, we've seen a lot of unforced errors, but it's really – we're just getting going. I mean, New Hampshire is such a compressed season. I think they'll work through these things.
All right, good sign here as Chase Barrett is up. And he's going to walk off the field under his own power, which is key. And we're hoping for a return sooner rather than later. As you said, Rich, he's been impactful defensively.
Big time. And his IQ with the slides, he really slides to the pinpoint location. A lot of guys get tempted to go for the head of the stick. He's on the gloves or he's sliding his body to body and, laying some lumber. He goes after the butt end when somebody trails it and leaves it hanging. This kid's got game.
Part of that sophomore class that has really been impressive so far this season for Coach Brewster.
That means the rest of New Hampshire's got to see him for a couple more seasons.
Here's another sophomore Gibney. Another sophomore Wilhelm.
You love it
now
when
the junior Graves.
Yeah, you love it when you have underclassmen playing at that level.
Gennard going to trot to the corner. Home team with an 8-7 lead here. 5 minutes gone by fourth quarter. Clock starting to become a factor. Pass knocked down in the crease. Scooped up by Kahn.
Yeah, it was just too crowded in there. Can't feed that. Just bounce it away, get topside, hit the reset switch.
Bedford has had the ground ball advantage unofficially today. Pass, though, dropped in their own end. Going to have to go long here to complete the clear, and they do. Bounces into the long pole of Will Frangillo. Shot. Wow. Matthews in a score, and we're tied at 8.
What a rip.
Well, there's the star making a play by himself. Down the angle, or down the alley. Tough angle. Shot and score, his second 8-hour score on the scoreboard.
I don't think anybody thought he was going to shoot right there. But that lefty cannon is remarkable. Look at this little bit of a topside. He goes... create some room on the sweep, and my goodness, Nick, that was a 14-yard shot, probably moving in the 90s.
Any difference as a goaltender trying to stop a left-handed shot versus a right-hand shot?
The side? No, it's the same read. It's the same read.
Meanwhile, Riccio flips it over his shoulder after winning the face-off. Durso comes downhill, shot, and score.
Wow.
Back-to-back goals for the Bedford Bulldogs, and they're out in front 9-8. Durso's 5th of the game.
It only takes 10 seconds sometimes. Look at this little hitch, a hesitation, slow and go, and buys himself just a yard of space, and we're seeing that power that he has, his upper body strength.
Yeah, it looks like he's added a little bit of muscle. Rich, from what we saw last season, certainly looks stronger.
Yeah, and he's just so fired up, but you could see the whip in that stick, like a golf club.
5 goals today for the junior Bryce Durso. Another face-off win for Bedford. We've got a 9-8 lead, looking for more. Durso thought about it.
That was a nice back out right there.
Now Matthews takes over as we hit the midway point, fourth quarter. And then this one, stripped. Taken away.
Yeah, I think Thomas got a piece of it, and he got the favor return.
Yeah, Thomas made a play and then lost it. Bedford cashes in.
Wow.
Matthews on the assist, able to go back door.
Yeah,
and hooks up, I believe.
Fatorik.
Savo Fatorik, the junior, who has not played much. Makes an impact, though.
Yeah, he doesn't get big minutes, but that's his 12th goal of the season.
Haven't said his name really at all tonight, but here he is at a key moment for Bedford. The lefty beats Burnage to make it 10-8, and Bedford has scored 3 in a row.
Wasn't there a great hockey player, Fatorik, years ago? Or am I dating myself?
That may have been before my time.
There we go. Rub it in, Nick.
10-8.
What a display at the face-off dot.
Another win for Riccio. Whistle and a hold. So Exeter going to get it here, and they need it inside of now 6 minutes.
They needed that like fresh bread. They really did.
Sorry. Chance here, though, to cut the lead in half if they can cash in. Meanwhile, Bedford, it seems like Rich starting to challenge a little bit more on the perimeter defensively.
It'll chew clock up.
Yeah. Haw cycles, 2 men behind the cage now. Kerrigan lost his balance.
And here comes the hunt.
Yep. The Wolves are on the scent in the corner, but Gerard, the first to it, and he's tripped. Flag is out. Penalty coming against Bedford. Ground ball continues to bounce. Scooped up on the sideline by Gibney, so Exeter still with it. Gibney with a swim move.
That was a terrific job by Gibney and company. Nice man ball, classic lacrosse, use your speed, get the ball. This means they can wear Bedford out going into the EMO.
Inside of 5 minutes now. Gibney drops the left shoulder, fires with the right hand, and that one bounces wide and out of play. Penalty coming against Bedford with 4:43 to go here in the fourth quarter. So we see now the third Bulldog penalty of the game. It's a trip, and it's against Cam Santos. Santos, the junior defender, he's played well today. He's also one of their football standouts, but the long pole going to have to watch here for the next minute from the penalty box. Third EMO for Exeter. They are 0 for 2 so far. Really a key moment here, Rich, for the home team. They need to cash in.
Yeah, we're in a 5-man rotation D. Nice step down right there. Wow.
Tough angle.
Big shot, though. Big heat. And it's a minute, so they can keep at it.
It came out of the stick of junior. Who was that? That was Alex Kerrigan again. All right, Kerrigan gets it back. Floats it up top for Gibney. Cycles to Gennard. Some room here on the wing for Wilhelm, but that one well off target.
Yeah, I think that came out of his pocket in a weird way.
Yeah.
It just went side. If it's rolling around in your pocket, it'll just fly out on an odd angle. I think that's what happened there.
Meanwhile, the EMO down to 30 seconds. Graves behind the cage. Finds Wilhelm on the wing. He lets it fly. Knocked down by Kahn. Another save for the Bulldogs senior.
I love how active Ha is right there in the crease right now.
Ha with a hat trick tonight for his efforts. Shot there. Kahn again.
That was just a beautiful 5-hole read, and you see how quickly he got his blade to the dirt right there? Nice reaction.
Had 2 saves on the sequence to bring his total up to 10 on the night.
Outstanding.
Long outlet. Matthews pulls it in overhead. He gets across midfield without an issue. We're inside of 4 minutes now. Bedford looking to kill some clock. Trying to protect this 2-goal lead. Meanwhile, Rubin, shifty behind the cage. The junior in a full sprint near side. Finds a cutter. Shot save!
Wow.
Burnich able to wave the wand to keep it a 2-goal game. Exeter the other way. They're met by a black wall at midfield. 3 defenders there. Ball is jarred loose. Matthews finds Durso, who finds the back of the cage yet again. Shot and scores 6 goals tonight for Bryce Durso. And Bedford now starting to pull away just a little bit. 11-8 with just over 3 minutes to play.
And I got to tell you, it started because Thomas, he just went through too many trees right there. Got mugged. They took the ball away. And once they had lopsided numbers going back the other way at Exeter, it's lights out right there.
Meanwhile, 4 in a row now for Bedford, all scored here in this fourth quarter. And all coming in the last 3 minutes and 32 seconds.
Yeah, it's been an eruption.
It has been fueled at the face-off X by Dylan Riccio. He boxes out and scoops it up himself for another face-off win.
It's impressive.
Inside of 3 minutes now remaining. Bedford, they can smell their 6th win. A victory would put the Bulldogs in sole possession of first place, at least for now, in Division I. All right, Exeter between a rock and a hard place here. Rich, how do they create a turnover?
You've got to press. You just have to take a chance, and you got to get your athletes out high and just start ragging the ball carriers.
We're down to 2.5 here.
And you got to crash the backside as well for help. And you might have to go pull the goalie out and cover the nearest man, then double the ball.
Reminder after the game, stats, highlights, analysis, full recap on and an out-of-town scoreboard. That's all coming up after the game.
Yeah.
And that's coming up soon here. As this fast-moving fourth quarter continues to tick away, we're down to 2 minutes. Bedford still in possession, playing keep away, leading by 3. This pass, though, is knocked down. Swalje knocks his man off balance and has the ground ball for Exeter.
Or you can wait for Bedford to put it on the turf. Oh.
Pass in the middle, knocked down. Picked up by Skerritt. And now Skerritt comes down the middle. Shot there is wide. Out of play with 99 seconds to go.
He should have shot at the backside right there.
Got a timeout. It comes with, a minute 39 remaining. Exeter will have it, but down 3, and they need some miracles here over the final minute plus. Our broadcast tonight brought to you by the New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Find out more at nhtomahawks.com and also girls.nhtomahawks.com. By Beals Insurance, locations in Bedford, Londonderry, and Epping. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. By MG Sports Fundraising, that's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. And finally, by Jewett Construction. Come join us to build something great. Planning, architecture, construction management. Proud sponsors of their Trades Scholarship Program. Apply now at JewettConstruction.com. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Bedford, on the heels of 4 unanswered here in the fourth quarter, lead 11-8, seeking their 6th victory through the first 7 games of the schedule.
I just did some quick math. I didn't think Riccio would have – he's at 85% on the season, but he's at 83 today against the Blue Hawks. That's 19 out of 23 they've won.
To do it against Exeter is pretty impressive.
Something to behold. They got to go quickly. You don't want to rush.
Up top, check absorbed by Kerrigan. Gennard examining options on the wing. He's got space, but nowhere to shoot.
And Bedford's really packed in.
There's Haw, 3 goals today, one of the bright spots for Exeter. Gibney with 2 of his own. Gibney zigzagging, leaves it up top, step down, bouncer denied. Kahn, another save as he denies Gennard.
And I got to say, it was a really nice sequence right by Cam Santos, number 8 with the pole, but they turned it over.
Yep. Exeter Ride has played well. They force a turnover here. Haw is jammed up on the release. Good defensive effort by Bedford's Trevor Abendroth, the senior. Able to gum up the works there and foul up the shot. We're down to 45 seconds. Wilhelm trying to squeeze through 2. It rolls right into the stick of the goaltender.
That was a Petramala, Dave Petramala, one of the greatest of all time checkers. Went right over the head without fouling and then got all stick and dropped it down. It goes right to the goalie. Thing of beauty.
Meanwhile, after the clear, we get a timeout from Coach Gaudreau as Bedford is taking this clock down inside of now 31 seconds, looking to cement this 11-8 win.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good timeout. You don't go to your locker room with your TOs in pocket. And even just to settle the fellas down, keep it screwed on. Let's play keep away. Let's not throw it away.
Right.
Because anything can happen. I mean, I've seen 3 goals in 30 seconds before. It's crazy. That's Notre Dame.
Meanwhile, some of this crowd starting to filter out. That includes members of the Portsmouth boys lacrosse team. They're next up, coming here to face Exeter on this field on Friday. Little scout trip for Coach Fisher's guys. They've seen enough, apparently, with 30 seconds to go.
Well, we mentioned Rochester. He's an old wily Rochester lacrosse mind, a buddy of mine. And
of course, we saw Portsmouth in action just last week when they took on Derryfield in a rematch of last year's Division II state championship game. That broadcast is up on our YouTube channel. Check it out anytime. And, of course, while you're there, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Do us a favor and yourself a favor. Stay in the know as we move forward throughout the month of May with Game of the Week broadcasts coming fast and furious. Again, Friday Night Lights New Hampshire on YouTube at FNLNH Media. Final 30 seconds here on the Seacoast. Bedford on the heels of a big fourth quarter, about to jump into sole possession of first place. Bennett Matthews protecting the ball here behind the cage. We're down to 15 seconds. For Exeter, it's going to be their first in-state loss of the season as they fall to 5-2 overall. But Bedford, in the minds of many, impressive here. Burnich one more save as he stops Matthews at the cage. That'll do it. Final score, Bedford 11 and Exeter 8. Bulldogs now 6-1. Exeter falls to 5-2. Full recap, stats, highlights, analysis coming up on the other side, plus a look at the out-of-town Wednesday night scoreboard. All that next. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week. It's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The Tomahawks prepare players to compete at the highest level, providing access to the best regional and national tournaments for maximum exposure. More than 1,000 alumni have gone on to compete at the collegiate level, including the ACC, Big Ten, Big East, Ivy, Patriot, NESCAC, NE10, and more. At the New Hampshire Tomahawks, players train with the same coaches and teammates, building elite skill, chemistry, leadership, and confidence. Every session combines high-level, position-specific instruction for all positions. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
11-8 is our final. Bedford a winner over Exeter in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough. Bulldogs now in first place in Division 1, 6-1. Their record after the victory tonight. Exeter slips to 5-2. Bulldogs next on the road at Westford Academy, south of the border, down in Massachusetts. And then a big battle looming next week against Bishop Girton. We'll be there for that one. Exeter, of course, will take on Portsmouth and then Pinkerton
What a week.
A couple of tough opponents on the heels of this one. This one went Bedford's way. They got on the board first. Dax Becker made it 1-0 just a minute in. The freshman played well tonight for the Bulldogs. Griffin Gennard evened things up for Exeter midway through the first quarter. And then Sam Haw, first of 3 goals tonight, gave Exeter a brief 2-1 lead. Bulldogs finished the first quarter on a high note. Bennett Matthews, the Duke commit, tied the game at 2. And then Bryce Durso, who was outstanding tonight, more on that in a moment, scores to make it 3-2. That was our score going into the second quarter. Durso's second arrives inside of 5 minutes before halftime. 4-2 Bulldogs at that point. But then Exeter punches back just before the break. Back-to-back goals from Sean Haw. Gave him, 3 goals at halftime. Had the hat trick at the break. That third goal tied the game at 4. It came with 11 seconds before the halftime buzzer. Third quarter, Exeter still riding high. They take another lead. Gennard is second, 5-4, just over a minute in. And then the sophomore Matt Wilhelm cashed in. 6-4, that was the high water mark for Exeter about 5 minutes into that third quarter. Then Bedford rallies with 3 straight. Dylan Riccio, the face-off man, who, by the way, was dominant, 19 of 23 today at the face-off. X had a goal as well to bring Bedford back within 1 at 6-5, and then 2 more from Durso. 1 even strength, 1 on the EMO, 7-6 Bedford. Sam Gibney, just over 3 minutes to go in that third quarter, tied the game again. 7-7 our score as we head down the stretch into the fourth quarter. Gibney, after 4 minutes of scoreless action, scores. Exeter seeming like they're in a good spot, up 8-7, but Rich, the final 6:42 went Bedford's way, and it went Bedford's way in a big way. Matthews ties the game at 8. Durso gives them the lead, 9-8. Savo Vitoric made it 10-8 at the midway point, and then Durso, for good measure, scores his 5th to make it 11-8, and that does it as the final 3 minutes and 10 seconds go scoreless. Bedford is a winner. 6-1 now in the season. Exeter falls to an in-state opponent for the first time and slipped to 5-2.
Just an impressive, what jumps out at us when we talked about it all game, the face-off dominance, possession, 9/10 of the law, more so in lacrosse, I like saying. And when you win 19 of 23 face-offs against a really good Exeter team, you have done something special, Nick.
Goaltenders look good as well. Unofficially, James Burnich in the loss for Exeter with 9 stops. Ethan Kahn for Bedford in the victory with 11. I want to thank Kathy and her crew here in Exeter, our friends over at ETV and BCTV, for sharing the space up here in the booth. Always fun seeing those guys. And, of course, got to thank the sponsors. That's the New Hampshire Tomahawks, Beals Insurance, MG Sports Fundraising, and Jewett Construction. For our staff here at Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, including our dual videographers, Kristen and Matt Beals. Of course, the whole thing orchestrated flawlessly once again by the man behind the curtain, the wizard of replay, our director, Ben Beals, back in the Beals Insurance Studios. For executive producer Steve Beals and my partner, Rich McDonough, my name is Nick Anastas, saying so long. Final score, final time, Bedford 11, Exeter 8. This has been a presentation of our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.